Let's get started with the second part. We have made it so far through the recruitment, yeah? So we do know that we should really recruit if we can, and we should push for this as well. Yeah? As a project manager, you can as well facilitate those mechanisms. Yeah? This is an additional mechanism. If you can implement it, it does actually change the project management from the start. Yeah? It can be enabling, it can be as well just what you always got, depending on how you're doing it. Yeah? So important notion. Next points to cover: disposition, development, retention, release, and then we have a little bit a look at the human resource management office in our project management office role. Yeah. So what does disposition come to? I've really just written a few notions down here, because this is actually quite negatively associated. So allocation of project personnel to projects and programs. Yeah, this is the notion of what the role really is from the project manager, but as well from the project management office potentially. Then optimization of allocation of resources in case of multiple project engagement. Yeah, this is as well giving people the remit, yeah, that they're working on, and moving them potentially from project to project. So the optimization can have a very, I perceive it always as a little bit of grinding. I've seen that in a few organizations that have team members that just come in for certain activities on the project. So a very famous one is actually, we are in the defense sector here, yeah, for Typhoon, for close out. Yeah, if you build a big plane that you're commercializing to different countries, then they have a closeout team. Yeah, so they remove kind of the project manager and certain project team members and just bring them in because they're very good in this. Yeah, making the closeout deal and actually bringing the product over and making that final handover. Yeah, or commissioning them for a big manufacturing contract. Yeah, this is potentially what you're after then. Yeah, and this can be then a little bit strange feeling for the rest of the team. Yeah, when people suddenly come in and just do something for one time. Yeah, so disposition is normally associated as well with disposition in the team. Yeah, favoritism of one project over the other, one program over the other. Yeah, maybe you like to work with this particular team more. Maybe that project is closer to your heart because you're doing a product that you find amazing. Yeah. Then you have, of course, very different dynamics. So you have to manage this as well. This is very important. Then you have organization and support of the transition of PM personnel from project to project was the idea. Yeah? But this is really the whole notion that you as well understand that every time personnel moves and they haven't been involved from the beginning, then they are not yet fully part of the team. Yeah, so you as a project manager should really consider as well, how do you integrate this person, how do you give it time, yeah, to do so. Yeah, depending on what environment you are in, projects are normally run on time constraint, money constraint, yeah, or maybe quality. You have to make a product that is feasible to the market. We see that at the moment with mobiles, yeah, in the mobile phone sector. Yeah, I would be very careful with what apps and what applications you are downloading at the moment, because we do know, are not yet ready for the market. We know that the mobile device is actually not capable of fully functioning with the software. Yeah, it's made for future hardware. Yeah, this is kind of a little bit an issue. Yeah, so if you have something like that, then yeah, be aware. You need to manage this actually very carefully, because this can be actually a driver for disaster. Yeah, so if dispositions are in your project team, then you can be the best project manager. Well, maybe the soft skills are then not fully harmonized, yeah, if you don't notice it. But the notion is then, even if you have very good tools and techniques in place, you have made the right connections, people may not perform. The famous notion was, the problem is not the problem, the attitude is a problem. Yeah, so this was a reference that comes in very often out. Yeah, so you have the problem that people may not want to perform or actually favor from the time that you have on your project to other projects. Yeah, so big thing really, and there's a whole literature on that too. Slightly smaller topic, yeah. So when you look at recruitment, there's a lot more in general management literature about it. But in project management, we are there at the beginning. Yeah? So this is not that often happening that way. When it comes to the development, and here it's competence development, individual development, but as well organizational development, yeah, we have certain aspects to carry here. Yeah? So personal development is the necessity of building up competences of the project management personnel by offering the possibility of gaining know-how and experience. What do we do as a project manager? Looking at that, what do we do? Do we learn about how to build a good car? Do you learn about how to provide a good customer service? So we have to make sure, this is the notion that you emphasized earlier, multidisciplinary teams. If we haven't done something like this before, you have to allow them to actually develop the competences. Yeah? I'll show you the mechanisms that are traditionally associated with that in a second, but this is part of your role. In a temporary organization, there is nobody that manages the human resource management. Yeah? Kind of in construction, we see this very clearly. There are a lot of contractors steering projects and subcontractors that are brought in. They are kind of self-responsible for skills development. It works for some supply chains. It doesn't work for all. All I'm saying, yeah. The empiric is actually kind of negative. It doesn't seem to work. Yeah. So if you can facilitate it from a project management level, yeah, in your company, and you can allow this, then what is happening when we allow them to develop and they can now like do additional things, and they enrich, if you want, their skills portfolio that they have as individuals. Do you think they are sad they never want to work with you again because you made them train so hard, or is it the opposite? Do they want to work with you again? If you are interested in like the development of your team and you enable them, what do you think? What would be your, how would you feel as a project team member? If like your project manager says like, I think you're doing this very good, but have you looked at the current research there? Do you want to go maybe to the university and do a knowledge transfer with them? How would you think about this? Positive, yeah. Okay, some people are skeptical. Oh, again, working with Robert. No, this is a little bit tough. No, but okay, yeah, it's generally positive. Yeah, it's as well a motivation tool. Yeah? It's implicit to the project team. Yeah, so it's a very strong thing. Simple but very strong. Yeah. So here's the thing with projects. It's often carried out on the job. Actually, wait, I've missed one category. Sometimes carried out not at all. Yeah, a lot of small project organizations, they don't carry it out. It's additional time spent. It's additional resources spent. You have to get everybody together. You potentially put them off the project. Be aware. Yeah, this is a big thing. Quite frankly, as a project manager, then you have to look for your own career path and do the assessment yourself. We have soft tools like LinkedIn to do this, but not always used sufficiently. Yeah? Then, okay, carried out on the job. Other one that I have there, of course, is carried out in the project or program assignment at the stage. Yeah, this is actually kind of good practice. If you are in the project lifecycle, look after every element. Where are we in the project? Was that successful? Here you're evaluating project success indirectly. Yeah, this is a very powerful tool. Again, on the apprenticeship schemes that I was on about with the two companies, they want to do it this way. I'm really curious to see how that works. Or in general, yeah, if you're again with a more traditional company, it's normally carried out in an annual review, yeah, where they say, have you hit your benchmarks in terms of skills development? It's individualized, so it's removed from the project. Then you have to provide evidence as a project team member, yeah, as personnel, and hopefully as a project manager, you're providing the evidence and saying, yes, this is what he has achieved or she, or that is a little bit positively interpreted. This is not really what he or she has done. Yeah, this may be as well true sometimes. Yeah, so can be as well out of the project assignment or project organization. Yeah. This is normally limited to project management personnel, but can be extended to include freelancers in the network. Yeah, where there are again political dynamics. If you have a good freelancer or good consultant that really drives the organization, and you write some excellent reviews on like public profiles, then it's indirect marketing for other companies to say like, oh, look what he is doing. Yeah, so there have been political tendencies in the past where actually companies kind of knew he's really good, but didn't really admit this, to keep this freelancer or consultant to themselves. Yeah, so there are political dynamics here. This is what I try to point out. Yeah? So this is the personnel development and a little bit your role and awareness of how it's done. Oh, sorry. I should as well emphasize. If you, of course, write him good feedback, he's very keen probably to work with you again. Yeah, and you have then an external reference that is well saying that you as a project manager have been actually evaluating him, and you have the skills of the human resource management side. Yeah, this is as well, of course, a counter argument. Yeah, so it's a critical. Well, it's basically the relationship goes both ways. Yeah, this is worth recognizing. Traditionally, oh, why is that so small? Traditionally, it's associated with the following mechanisms: organization specific. It's linked to the project management office and or HR department. If you don't have either, then you are the next managerial key point. Yeah? So in small organization, it's often the project manager that has that role as well. But this is not always carried out. Yeah? Here we associate with development normally education and training, then project management competence assessments, coaching, assessment centers for development, sorry, and then feedback, training on the project, job rotation, support networks, and communities, career development and communities. So to pick on a few to unfold them a little bit, when you look at the coaching notion, this is often done in a mentoring sense. Yeah? If you have a good company, the project director of the project management office will normally be a mentor for like projects that you haven't managed before. Yeah? So there are different structures. Some are run by the volume of money, yeah, or complexity of the project. Depending, you start with less complex projects to understand the simple principles of the company, how it's run, and apply your knowledge. And then on the more complex ones, basically the director is looking over your shoulder. When you come back after managing or organizing matters and you meet again in the project management office, yeah, the physical locality, you can kind of, you have a community of practice there, or one mentor, then it's just a single person, yeah, that actually allows you to bounce off ideas. Yeah, I did this, and I did it for that reason. Now this is a very good reference framework to iterate as well your ideas. But it shows already you are not in competition then with this guy or girl. Yeah, does that make sense? So you need a certain culture to it. Yeah, this is not always feasible. Yeah. Well, when it comes to coaching, this is often an external mechanism, yeah, where somebody comes in and kind of like tries to create a mindset where you're ready to go into it. Yeah, or you actually kind of work along certain critical risks that are likely to appear, to come up with solutions, how to manage it, how to recognize when the risk is a real thing, yeah, an actual danger, or when the risk has been successfully managed. So maybe one more. Support networks and communities is as well something that I can observe very visible at the moment externally. Yeah, we have a lot of professional networks emerging. We have as well communities of practice within companies emerging. Yeah, so where peers of, for example, project managers from, yeah, shall I pick on a, actually wait a minute, I think your company has just set up one, right? Community of practice, where you, pardon?
Community of
practice. Yeah, community of practice. Did you have a new network where you all have a?
Yeah, they've got rid of the PCTs, the primary care trusts, and now they have clinical commissioning groups, and the estates teams now NHS Property Services. So we've gone from having one primary care trust to having different organisations all doing the same thing.
But okay, no, this is not. Then it may not have been implemented yet. I thought that they had tried to really align as well, roles, so that you actually as a project manager would have contact to other project manager officers as well.
Well, yeah, like so for example, our estates team now, when we were NHS teams, now we're NHS Property Services England. So
okay, so this is
if I wanted
okay.
to use like the whole base, for example, I could use kind of expertise in the whole base. It's only been implemented as the 1st of April, so it's still a bit of working.
Yeah.
But it's now a limited company operating throughout the country. So the estate side of it is, yeah.
Yeah, and this means, of course, as well, yeah, then you actually, this consultant role is kind of a side notion that comes along with it.
Yeah, because we've gone from all the buildings that we own and all the occupants of the buildings, we've gone from being their colleagues, and they're now, in effect, our customers and clients, because we're their landlord, but also any estate provision or any estate information that the clinical commissioning groups who commission clinical services require, they buy in from, they buy in NHS Property Services, so that they in effect pay for my time, the project manager, to come and discuss estates issues and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's commissioned so to your group, really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's NHS. It's all kind of wood and dollars. That's the idea of the
The idea, well, you have already described the hard facts. Yeah? This is often what's very visible, but the community of practice aspect behind it, yeah, and the idea is really that you have now peers with whom you can actually create like a learning culture, yeah, where you have the possibility to share ideas, where you have had, where somebody may have worked actually with a particular trust before and has an insight, and you can then really start a better informed project. So rather than starting to test around, yeah, and guessing, which you should still test a little bit around, this is always important. You kind of have like a reference framework, yeah, where you can already make certain choices that position you in a position that is more comfortable to start off with, yeah. So yeah, but very good to start. Then another one, job rotation, we had that already a little bit with the staircase spiral. This is an element really of the project management office. Yeah? So request that as well potentially from your project director. Yeah, this is important. Sometimes they do miss the opportunity there a little bit. And then you know, the other ones, the other communities that are more feasible and more general are really the professional associations that try to provide this service. Yeah, but they're very different. This is caught on camera. There are some that are for free and that are pretty good, and then there are some that are pretty expensive that are kind of on a consultant basis, and I personally find it very limiting. It's very generic. Yeah? So they have their pros and cons, and we have a overlook next session, yeah, where I introduce different maturity models of project managers' competences, and then we have a little bit of look. So I give you an overview of the world of standards and yeah, professional associations and different company standards as well in between. Yeah, so I have access to a handful in detail, and then another 12 rough overview. Yeah, but they are normally quite formalized and quite detailed. So this is a big issue. Then, so with this comes as well often accreditation and recognition, yeah, from where you are. So for example, IPMA goes literally to being the executive project manager. This means you should really set up project management offices and kind of go from company to company to promote project management in large companies and interlink different project approaches to actually deal with their project needs. This is kind of what it's aimed at. And then you can kind of like start recognizing skill working on a very small project, where you, for example, run the project and you bring in additional services to do something or to deliver something. Yeah, I would probably want to leave it. Do you have a, do they all make sense? Do a lot of research in that area. I'm always slightly worried. Before when I left high school, I certainly didn't come across all those before. Is there another one that is maybe not so clear? Why, for example, is feedback an important thing for development? Feedback? Why is it good? The question kind of looks implicit, isn't it? Yeah. So feedback, for example, from your colleagues on the project can be an informal mechanism for promotion. Yeah. Yeah. So again, this is a terminology. If you're curious about it, there is a lot of literature on it. Make sure that you look for projects, because otherwise you end up in the general HR literature, and that is quite comprehensive indeed. Yeah. Another important aspect, and this is probably one of the very interesting and probably one that everybody looks slightly worried at, but in reality is a good mechanism, a very natural one. It's a retention, yeah? So project managers do, here's a little statistic, this is more a reminder for me really. Project managers do stay generally longer with project-oriented companies and than other personnel. Yeah? So if you run company or your business with projects mainly, the irony is the people that stay longest with those companies are project managers. Yeah, and it's of course a dual way. Normally those project-oriented companies are as well professionally recognized as project managers. Yeah, there are few companies. If you're interested who this is, go for example on APM and look who are the corporate members. You will see who is a project-driven organization. It's not really a mystery. And you will see that they often promote as well the project managers internal. Yeah? So they kind of invest a lot of money to make sure that you do develop the skills. And this makes retention, of course, relatively lower. Yeah? Whereas personnel that is more interested in the engineering, they may want to go on to another project organization to diversify a little bit their portfolio. Quick intrusional question to the retention. What is actually, wait a minute, I have to go a slide back. Development for a project manager. Is this being you more an expert in a particular type of project? Or is it having generic skills? Yeah. It's counterintuitive. Yeah, if you think about it, yeah, the silo idea is you learn more and more about a product, you become more and more of an expert in, for example, yeah, what example do we take this time? Yeah, marketing, yeah, how to market to a particular audience, yeah, your clientele, yeah, and with project management it's actually reversed, yeah, it's you become the more experienced, the more you can actually kind of project manage every project, yeah. So this is an interesting counterintuitive point actually. Yeah? With management we are after having a holistic overview. Yeah? We don't have to know everything in detail, but we kind of have to understand how it kind of relates. Yeah? This is important. Yeah? So curiosity is an important aspect of it. So coming back to that, with the two-way street, the project managers will normally start as well on particular projects, yeah, and then go basically on to a bigger project where it becomes kind of generic, yeah? And often as well more towards a client-driven notion. And the personnel does actually move a lot more in project-oriented companies. Yeah? In the UK we have brilliant statistics on it. Yeah? If you're interested, you can actually divide it on the National Statistic Office. And you can see that the retention is well, that the movement of the employees or the personnel is a lot higher than in companies that are running in different ways. Yeah? So two-way street of commitment, yeah, company being committed to you as a project manager, helping you to develop, but at the same time you are committed to the company managing their project successfully, yeah, and allowing that way to develop. This is normally this has been as well associated with building a psychological contract, especially in organizations like that, by actually allowing you, for example, to do a master's degree. Well, oh, this is an interesting one. Coming back to where do you think you are in development with the MSc? Where should you apply to? Like if we go back to my personnel, this is always a shocker, I think. So where should we apply with an MSc? Where's your theoretic knowledge? Should you start as a project management assistant? If we just look at the knowledge.
I think everybody has to start at the bottom level to get a vocational idea.
Yeah,
Where
vocational.
you may get they may get fast tracked by having a master's, but you know you still gotta learn the ropes.
Yeah.
From scratch, you know.
The qualification that large companies look for, where they want the MSc on the profile, is here. Yeah. If you have it already, it's brilliant. Yeah. But be aware of it. There's a negotiation frame here. You have the theoretic knowledge and the if you want know-how already. The question is there's an element of confidence and experience, of course. Yeah. So and this is of course built in better with other support mechanisms. Yeah. But the MSc, quite frankly, if you go to Siemens, this was just one company because it's down the road here. They will kind of look here, yeah, straight away. Project owner, or they will ask you actually to set up a project management office potentially. Yeah. So there's a particular notion to this. Yeah? So and this is often as well associated with building actually a relation between your employer and you as an employee, as a project manager. Yeah? So they often hope you to stay on board with this. Then you have, of course, as well incentives and motivations at your hand as a project manager. Use them wisely. Yeah? The projects are highly, or think about it the other way around. When you have a team, yeah, and you incentivize certain activities and you recognize certain achievements, it's a very strong motivation mechanism. Yeah? A team is kind of like building a relationship for this project, and if you can use this mechanism wisely, it's a brilliant thing to be in. Yeah? So a project can be a fascinating thing to deliver, but at the same time, yeah, if incentives are, for example, to move somewhere else, then those are often taken as well. Yeah? Here I'm thinking really from everything from monetary, yeah, so reward systems, to as well allowing this progression to go on, yeah, so career development wise. Yeah? There are many sub-elements of this. So if you're interested in this, again, there's a huge raft on literature on this. This is kind of summarized in those two words. Yeah. Worthwhile reading up on. With the release itself, there come two big elements actually into it, where we have kind of looked at them under the theme of leadership, yeah, and how we actually lead as well into a learning theorem. I don't know if you remember the motivation elements that we talked about before the Easter break. Yeah, they were really there. So temporary, personal, and project. There's a notion of organizational learning. Yeah? You learn in a group, and you learn from each other. Yeah. So what one team member does not understand and verbalizes, actually explaining it's a concept. Yeah. This is why this program is so brilliant. Yeah. When you explain to each other certain concepts, yeah, this is really when you learn to kind of like codify your ideas and understanding to actually make it visible to the other person. Yeah. And this is a very powerful tool, and of course in projects we rely heavily on it. Yeah? And then of course there's an individual review and feedback mechanism. This is of course the notion of allowing the person to develop as well themselves on the more soft side again. Yeah, and if you can allow this to go on, then the release is normally as well a pleasurable experience, or like something that is positively remarked. Has anybody heard of the 360 feedback? Yeah? What is this?
An assessment methodology in which you get to assess yourself, your superior assess you, and your subordinates also assess you, and it's pushed together to really have a broader view of your competence.
Yeah, exactly. So this is ideally what you would have here. Yeah? To summarize, it's a feedback from kind of the key people that were working with you and that had an insight into what you were doing and kind of giving you direct feedback. Yeah? But it's as well yourself. Yeah? This is very important in this exercise, so that you have a reference point, what you actually thought of your performance, yeah? Where you were critical with you. You may find out that nobody else was critical with you on that one. Yeah? And then you actually look at external staff that you, or external people that you have worked together with, stakeholders, clients, users. If you work with them, then your team, then potentially your director and so forth. Yeah? And it's a very strong tool. Very good literature as well, especially in project management related papers, that encourages this. Yeah? So it's something that you as a project manager can do, and you can as well receive it. So it's a very good thing. Yeah, do have, let's talk a little bit about the role of the project management office in this, because this is often the structure that remains. This is often the element that is used to actually kind of give consistency to the temporary notion. Yeah? So you will see again in literature it's emphasized that the project management office should be set up and designed for a particular project challenge. Yeah? But again, I don't see that often. Often the project management office is adapted, changed. You change the parameters a little bit, that it's fit for the next project, and that is actually the remaining structure, if you want. Yeah. So here it's really about ensure ready supply of professional project and program managers. Now this is you, in a way, and you want to have people that are actually capable of delivery. Yeah? When I say capable, this is hard and soft skills, but of course it's not just capability, it's as well the confidence that you're actually feeling that you're ready to go for it and bring yourself really in. So those are the true notions that are really empowered by this. Then of course provide management support of projects and programs, often by providing PMs and program managers to projects and programs. But as well, if you look after the personnel in the project management office, make sure that people are not too constrained. Gives them time to be integrated in the project that they're assigned to, especially if you have like very flexible multi-project model. Yeah? Another important role that is often, as indicated earlier, often neglected is the development of individual and organizational competences in the project-oriented company. And this goes as well as far that you as a project manager are confident to do, for example, a competence assessment with your project team and sit down. Where do you get to say the simple remits? I show you some standards. They differ from nation to nation a little bit. So be aware of that. But you will have then a whole raft of bodies of knowledge that you can actually consult with. A lot of the personnel that work on your team may actually be professionals themselves. They may subscribe to a professional body that they belong to. Maybe they're chartered or accredited. There are quite a few professions that we have nowadays that do so. And then, of course, last but not least, it's manage the project portfolio related services. I will just mention that at that point, because I see this more and more. The project management offices become directly accountable to the senior management where the portfolio processes and are being measured as a project management office with the portfolio. Yeah? So it's kind of a scoring system. I've seen this now a few times. I didn't think that it would take up that quickly, but here in the UK, especially in the northeast, bigger companies do this already. Yeah? And this then means as well at a project management office level, for example, if you're the project director, yeah, of the project management office, you will have to report basically to the person responsible or to the group responsible for the portfolio. And this has then to do with performance of the projects, what did they deliver, and how does it actually deliver the benefits and strategy to the company. Yeah. I have here already the seminar notes. This is actually the pre-questions for the debates. This is a good point. So let's think a little bit back. I think I want to... Any questions at that point with the project management office? So you see the notion, yeah, when we employ projects, there is a removedness from certain traditional functions. Yeah, and every function that is not supported, yeah, will be kind of be given by us as a project manager. Yeah? So at least the essentials, yeah, that people are happy to come back again, yeah, and want to work with us as well in the future. This is the idea of the project management office, if you want, especially on the HR part. Okay, I hope you found a few topics interesting that you want to read up on. I would really want to do a quick, where are we time-wise? Are we quite late?
15 minutes more.
15, okay. Okay, then we do that one. I'll give you later on a little bit more debate points, but I think the question that I really want to ask, where do you see project management? Is it a discipline or not? So if you think about it, a project manager needs to have technical expertise. We had that already, yeah, there was a little bit dismissal. Or do we need more non-technical competences? Are the key traits of the project manager, as a matter of fact, non-technical, and we will need to do something else? And what is it then? So what are your ideas to that? Well, let's do a poll up front. Do you think we need more technical skills in project management? So here we are again, in depending on what projects you have worked on. Yeah, the earlier example was divisional or multidisciplinary projects. Yeah, you want to you have a certain luxury there, or alternatively, if you are actually being based in a certain silo, then it may be actually important to realize the technical side. What do you think? Where would you be more comfortable? Project manager, technical expertise? Do you have the technical expertise already? No.
I think it does depend. Let's say if you look at say construction, then I think it is beneficial to have technical expertise. If you're like a construction project manager and that's the field that you'll be working in, then yeah, I think it's important to have technical expertise. But if you're a general project manager, I don't think it is as much. It's because like you could go from managing a project, you just take the skills of managing a project into any field.
Okay, so industry specific, yeah, this is your notion, and you say in particular construction.
Well, as an example, just because as an example,
yeah.
Construction.
It's nearly always technical in construction to get the finished product, you know.
Okay, yeah, so building like a building, yeah, or shelter or something like that, yeah, is kind of technical.
Yeah.
Okay, other projects? So is it just construction? Are we kind of lucky? So if we don't go into construction, we don't have to.
No, I think for marketing, for example, it's beneficial if you have an idea of how marketing works in a sense of have some expertise. You might not have the details, but I think for every industry it might be beneficial if you actually know how delivered and which aspects are important.
So in marketing, how far would you go? Where would you draw? Yeah.
In branding or in segmentation or points for that, I think it might be beneficial to know about that.
So yeah, if you have, for example, a project, yeah, where you have to come up with a brand or yeah, establish your brand, yeah, this is actually, ironically, this is a project that we have at the moment where we are in Northumbria trying to establish certain staff as brands. I'm not sure that is a I look forward with excitement. Yeah, it's again an interesting experiment. Yeah, but so how far would you go then? Where does a project manager still need to understand how the mechanisms work? You know, the technical aspects of it.
Yeah, maybe a more general understanding.
Okay.
In a sense, maybe not very detailed of a specific function in the team, but more general understanding of how these functions are integrated and which aspects for each function might be important.
Okay. So yeah, but you already went down kind of the technical side, yeah. So recognizing really in the branding exercise, yeah, where do we want to establish us? Yeah, what are the mechanisms that we use for this? So as well, technical focus there, yeah, to a degree. And you, yeah.
From my project experience, I discovered that it may also relate to the stage along the project life cycle. At the initiation, the technical competence may be really required, but at the ending, it may be more of non-technical competence. I've worked with an expert project expediter. I was working on a project that was lagging, and this elderly man, who is an expert project expediter, came for just 6 months. And what he brought in was not really the technical competence. He was able to bring leadership and non-technical competence. So I think it could also relate to the project life cycle. At what point?
So you see really more the generic side, yeah. The if you understand that the team, yeah, is well, if you trust them, yeah, and being capable, that you really take the leadership and kind of like move them along the project life cycle, it drives. So here we have a good argument for more non-technical competencies, more typical project management associated competences and skills. Yeah. Any other? Is there an industry where you want to go in and where you're indifferent, where you're not quite sure?
I think non-technical skills is essential. Technical skills is not essential, but you need to know where you get those technical information in, or you have to be confident in telling somebody to do it for you. So, but the second one, I think, is the non-technical is more important as an essential element. But technical, you can not pretend you know, but you pull off your confidence to deal with the situation.
Yeah, there were a few important notions in here. Yeah, this I like that actually. So when it comes to the notion of facilitating, yeah, this was a little bit what we tried to cover as well with the recruitment for the project. Yeah, if you bring the right people on the team, yeah, then this is a technical expertise in a way. Yeah, and it's really then about managing, and bringing together the if you want what's perceived non-technical competences to actually facilitate the project to happen. Yeah? And this link is a very important one. Okay, well, you see there are different opinions. We will actually debate it a little bit more in the seminar. First of all, I want to talk a little bit what the implications is about the temporary structure versus a long-lasting one. and how that really impacts on the competences. Yeah, where do you see actually mechanism, how they enable? This is slightly, it's very difficult to visualize, but once you have seen both sides, you can actually see what's kind of required from the manager, yeah, line manager versus project manager. What is the role difference? And when you see that, you see the responsibilities are very similar. Yeah, and that is actually where I want to run. And then we end later on with the debate on the topic, but slightly adjusted. So just realize. But yeah. Any questions at that point? No? Okay. For next week, we have the lecture as usual, and then the seminars are an assessment surgery. Yeah, so if you have, for example, peer review feedback that you didn't understand or something, I will be around in the seminar to just make sure that you are all set to basically, basically submit the final piece. Well, when is the final submission? 2nd of May, right? Yeah, super. So at, yeah, what was that? Just a realization, or yeah?
I have been increased.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so we have like a assessment surgery in the seminars next week. Yeah, if you need me, I will be around. Yeah, otherwise there will be no seminars. In the following week, we will have a guest lecturer. Yeah, talking about virtual teams. Yeah, that is again a 2-hour block, and we have a little bit of a workshop afterwards, but this is optional. Yeah, so he yeah, wait a minute, how did we do that last time? We can do it with 36. Oh no, but this will work anyway. Yeah, so the seminar is a workshop if you are interested in virtual team working virtually as well. Yeah, so potentially contributing from a different geography to a project somewhere else, then that is a talk to come to. Yeah, and we have a workshop as well to get our heads around it. Okay. Yeah, that would be it from the lectures today. I'll see you later on in the seminars, yeah? Thank you.
I've used the bar chart from my Belbin.
Yeah.
So I can just sort of make reference to it with the critical analysis of it. I'm just wondering how you reference the Belbin, how you